In 1960, if you look at the Time magazine of the American Time magazine, the cover story was Nigeria, 1960. It says this is a country with promise for Africa. Nigeria has failed that promise continually because the Nigerian political elites didn't want to become what Singapore became under Lee Kuan Yew, or what Korea became under General Park, or what China became under Deng. What did they become? These leaders clearly said that our focus is the development of our country. Not everything was done to make sure the country developed. And what does that mean? You cannot be talking, for example, today about spending billions on a coastal road project. I mean, I have people on Twitter who have read no economic textbook arguing as if elephant projects are not development. Development must be connected directly to outcomes that expand capacity for production or improve human capital for production. If you do projects that are scattered and not connected and not tied to directly to this project, they're not developmental projects. So the problem is that we have to become a people a leadership that is agonizing day and night. How do we grow our economy? Again, let's not forget, in 1960, it was better. We're living today in a much more difficult global politics era. That nations are now going to compete against themselves. Nations now need their smartest and their most committed leaders who can get forth and resolve this crisis. Nigeria can no longer continue with the old style of Emiloko, old style of prerogatives, old style of let's come and share the loot, old style of how much can we use to buy this person. You need leaders who are going to go there, understand how the economy is working, and bring people together and create wealth. Now, why do I think Mr. P2B is the right person to lead at this moment? You know, there's something I've learned earlier. Every leader you see, look at their profile. I have a theory I call the biographical theory of leadership. People don't lead beyond their experience and who they are. Many of us will say, oh, that man, I used to respect him. I didn't know. No. There's a verse in the Bible that says, lay no hand on man suddenly. You should always ask, where is this person coming from? Because leadership is not strange from your personality. Leadership is who we are. Leadership is paying attention. Leadership is the passion, what drives you. Now, let's look at those who have got it right in the past. Let's take 3 examples. The man who put China on the right path, Deng, was a member of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. He was sent to Russia, Paris, and he, instead of going to the classes for ideologues, he went to the factories, thinking about how did the West create wealth. When he came back to China, Chairman Mao, he was imprisoned for some of his views. He didn't go extreme, but what he did was take the party and said that we must change this. What do you do? The first thing he says, wealth is good. Second thing he says, pursue truth through facts. Third, he says, it doesn't matter whether the cat is black or white as long as it catches mouse. This man was pragmatist. He understood how to take the party and turn it around. He's a member of the old order, but his passion, his commitment is about how do we make China become great. Let's take Lee Kuan Yew, who went to Oxford. Now, these people, some of them are educated. Deng didn't go to Oxford. But they share one thing in common. They have the pedigree of commitment to the well-being of their people. They have the personality of being decisive, being quiet but clear-minded, being soft but firm. They're not swashbuckling warmongers. They're not cracking heads and breaking bottles. But they are decisive, clear-minded where they are going. Take General Park, the same thing. Some are dictators, some are Democrats. What qualifies Mr. P2B to lead this revolution? And that's the point I said, that first, profile. Who he is, what he has done before. I watched the AIT interview, and I was just laughing. People forget that not just infrastructure, security, Anambra was the best, the safest state in Nigeria then. were the safest. In fact, some of the technologies used for crime prevention were being borrowed by police in Imo State elsewhere. Nigeria doesn't need a leader who will break bones. Nigeria needs a leader who will stimulate a new behavior through the subtleties of intelligence and persuasion. The reason why Nigerian leaders have not escaped from the part dependence of contradiction is because there's a web that ties them in. The leader who can move Nigeria must be a leader who is prepared to cut off all ties. A leader who is positively selfish, that focus on the outcome and forget every embeddedness. We can't save Nigeria if we're embedded in the corrupt neo-patrimonial system. We are embedded in rewarding all our friends, all our families. We are embedded in rewarding all our villages. You can't, because Nigeria is almost verging to a criminal state now. So the leader for this revolution must be a man who can step away from this cobweb of corruption and incompetence and fiercely move us to the right direction. We don't want a person we love, a person who shares. We're looking for a philanthropist. None of these leaders move their country from this trajectory of failure to success. We are philanthropists. They had two things going for them. They were passionate for what they want to do, and they were prepared to even suffer themselves to get it done. The fierceness of sacrifice underlines all this. I want to stake my intellectual sincerity on the stake that so far, of all people who want to lead Nigeria today as president, I've not seen a man whose discipline, whose willingness to sacrifice, whose single-mindedness, whose commitment to the basic welfare of ordinary people trumps that of Mr. P2B. I am a critic, not a flatterer. I am a critic, so I have a right to, I can criticize everybody. But I can tell you that the reason why P2B fits this moment is that this moment calls for disruption. This moment calls for somebody to extricate us from a deadening and self-reinforcing cobweb of corruption. You can't get it out the normal way. We cannot get to development through the same patrimony that has characterized our politics. We need a new politics, and the obedient movement is that vanguard for that new politics. I would like to end on this note. The great American sociologist, Margaret Mead, says, do not neglect what a few people can do. He said, in history, what matters is what few people can do. It was few people, 3 people in Oxford who dreamt about making Singapore great. Lee Kuan Yew and his colleagues, and they came back and diligently plotted the path to what is today Singapore. We are very flamboyant people, able to carry the book from thought to... In fact, the time Obasanjo ordered all cabinet members to have the book, we like to show off, but probably will not read it, will not meditate, will not think about it, will not practice what we read. We claim too much. And I want to arouse us that this country is not anywhere near great. This country is almost miserable. This country is worse off than our West African neighbor. I went to Sierra Leone to teach their security officials for 2 weeks, and I saw teachability. They were willing to learn. Here, nobody listens, nobody learns. We are in a dangerous spot. But everything in life is created apart from God. Everything is created. Poverty, hope, failure, success. These young men and women who were only 4 in the room, who were derided, who were scorned, who were abused, who were blackmailed, but they won officially 6 million votes, 12 states, plus 5 or 6 suppressed states. These young people can actually change Nigeria. These young people can remake make Nigeria. These young people can disrupt this pathology of lies. These young people can march Nigeria into the new era.